Florida Gators basketball team got another dominant road performance again last night against the Texas Longhorns in Moody Center. Excuse me. Alex Condon scored a game high 23 points in seventh ranked Florida pitched a fence around one of the nation's best offenses in the second half Wednesday, on the way to an 84-71 victory at defeat at Texas. Now, as compared to the Kentucky game where Florida kind of dominated, but the final score didn't reflect it. To me, this was a competitive game. To me, this was, instead of a dominating game that the score didn't reflect, this was a competitive game that the score doesn't reflect, because Texas came out hot on fire, swinging, and they, metaphorically speaking, punched Florida in the mouth because they jumped out on Florida quick throughout that first half. They actually led at halftime. It's kind of been a while since Florida trailed at halftime. They were game and ready to go from the tip off, and they were playing like a team that was desperate to get a critical quadrant one level victory, which would have been that for Florida. And I think this is another quadrant one victory for Florida, being that Florida was on the road. Texas was very, 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 very amped up, and they just came out making buckets all over the place. They were setting a pace that Florida was actually having a hard time keeping up with, until you got to about closer to the end of the game. This win was UF's 8th straight, including a 7th in a row on the road, and moved the Gators with their game 2 cushion atop the league standings with 3. That much closer to their first SEC regular season crown in 12 years. Side note that this article, which is written by the Florida Gator website, this was before Alabama and Arkansas finished their game. So I know it says 3. It says 3-game now, but both of those teams won. So Florida's back to where they were, a 2-game lead. Condon went 10 for 12 from the floor, and 4 of the team's season high 11 blocks, and paced a UF offense that shot 59% from the game, including 65% in the second half. The Gators also went 8 for 18 from the three-point line, which for them this year, going 8 for 18 from the three-point line, just a little bit under 50%, because 9 is half of 18. But for them, that was pretty. The fact that they were even that close to 50% for their standards this year has been pretty good. Over the last 5, making at least 36% from that area. Point guard Boogie Fland had a season high 22 points on 7 for 10 shooting, 5 rebounds and 2 steals, while Xavian Lee had another good performance. He had 12 points and 6 assists. And Boogie Fland, I think, changing his jump shot or doing whatever it was that he did to get his confidence back outside of just the haircut thing. I don't think it's just the haircut, because that's just superstition. I think he made a different. I think he did change the way he handles the basketball, how he dribbles it, how he shoots coming up the court on a fast break, how he handles it when he goes for his jump balls. He missed a dunk, which I thought he got it when I saw it, but when they replayed, they said no. It showed no, he missed the dunk, so he probably wants that one back. He could have had 24 points. The Longhorns came into the game with the number 6 rated offense in the nation, but were held to 43% shooting and just 36% in the second half, when the Gators outscored them 48-32 in the second half. UF finished the game 23-7 over the final 7+ minutes. So offense that was ranked 6th in the nation. You know how big that is? 6th in the nation when there are over 300 basketball. I almost said FBS. 300 basketball programs in the nation. So to be 6th rated, that is insane. And that Florida defense just suffocated them. The Gators fell behind 8 early, 9 minutes into the game, but chopped away to a short-lived 1-point lead, 28-27, only to trail 39-36 at halftime again. That was because the Longhorns shot 50%, including 4 of 8 from the three-point line, even though they missed 6 of their last 7 shots before the break. Texas led by 3, 64-61, when UF went on a run of 9 straight points, with Alex Condon scoring 5 of them. Alex Condon, to me, was the MVP of this game. After center Mattis, I don't know how you say that last name, hit 1 of 2 free throws, Fland scored 5 points, and after 2 more UT free throws, Lee bombed a late clock 3 to initiate another run of straight 9 straight points to put it away. The turning point, the start to the end of the game blitz when the Gators outscored the Longhorns 23-7. Staggering statistic: the Gators won 4 straight road games by double-digit points, despite leading scorer Thomas Haugh and leading rebounder Rueben Chinyelu combining for only 10 points and 4 rebounds. Not only that, but both of them got in foul trouble towards the end of this game, so it wasn't really their best performance, and that's okay. You still got the win. Credit backup wing Isaiah Brown for coming off the bench for 9 points and a career high and 8 rebounds. That dude got his he got his hands dirty in that paint, the way he was rebounding it. Like he showed some serious toughness when Florida needed it. So up next, the Gators Saturday morning will play 20 ranked Arkansas, who's 20-7, so only 1 game behind Florida overall and only 2 games behind them in SEC play. That will have SEC title ramifications. That's correct. Texas, on the other hand, will be playing their in-state rival, Texas A&M. And I'm also going to focus that conversation to the SEC standings. Like I told you before, Florida maintains a 2-game lead over everybody else in the conference, 11-4 Alabama, 11-4 Arkansas. But Alabama needs to, I think they play Tennessee next. Alabama needs to not only match Florida's record, but they probably need to be above Florida if they want to get a share of that ACC title. Because I think Florida, if they win the Arkansas game, they will clinch a share of the SEC championship. And if they win their next 2, Arkansas and Mississippi State, they will have the SEC title outright. So if you're Alabama, you're probably rooting for Arkansas here. And obviously Arkansas is not too far from the SEC crown themselves. They have the same conference record as Bama, so they need this win badly. The game will be in the Stephen O'Connell Center at the Old Dome at 8:30. College Game Day will be there to visit the Swamp at 10 o'clock that Saturday morning. And then Florida will play Mississippi State, which they're 5-10 in conference play, so Florida should likely win that one. And they're going to be on the road to finish their season series with Kentucky, who, in my opinion, did not look good against South Carolina. South Carolina actually was rather competitive with Kentucky, which is, even if you won that game, if you're a Kentucky fan, you should not, you really shouldn't be impressed with how your team looked in that game, because South Carolina is just not good. There's no other way to say it. South Carolina is not good, and the way they performed in that matchup, I would be very discouraged with how Kentucky goes, because they still have to play Vanderbilt, I believe, and they still have to play Texas A&M before they get to Florida. Yep, I'm right. Vanderbilt, Texas A&M on the road, and Florida. All 3 of those teams are obviously way better than South Carolina. We know that Florida is better than Kentucky because they've shown that. But to me, Kentucky could have their NCAA tournament hopes in jeopardy with a loss on the road at Texas A&M and potentially a loss to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, by the way, beat Georgia last night, so that put an end to the Mike White, magical run that he usually goes on, where when it looks like things are bleak, he somehow rattles off a couple of victories that he probably had no business winning. So anyways, back to the Gators. They'll be playing Arkansas on Saturday. It's going to be another big matchup for Florida. They're going to have a little bit of a shorter rest because it's going to be on Saturday. But I think since it will be late in the evening and they'll be at home, I think that they'll get enough energy from the crowd to boost them through. Sorry, that was my computer. If you heard that noise, they'll boost through that game with the Gator crowd behind them full-fledged. And I think Florida will likely will clinch a share of that SEC title. By the way, Todd Golden, if I'm correct, I want to make sure I look it up right here before I end this. I think he's now 2 games away from getting 100 victories as a college basketball head coach. I want to make sure I get it right here. I'm trying to pull it up. Okay, he already has 100 victories as a head coach. He's a few victories away from having 100 victories as the Florida Gator head coach. Okay, so he's 2 away. He's at 98. He just needs to win 2 of his last 3, 2 of the next 3, and then he will have 100 victories as the Florida Gator head coach. And he's 3 wins away from getting 50 SEC wins. So big accolades and high stakes on the line for Florida when they play Arkansas. They will play them Saturday at 8:30 in the Old Dome. All right, Florida, time to take the SEC crown.